and welcome to my Real Men segment. I, of course, have Zoe helping me out with this one. We are in week 12. You only have a few weeks left, depending on when your league starts playoffs, to get yourself into the playoffs and get your team ready to compete for the championship. So I have 3 picks that should all really help you out this week. One of them I'll get to. The last one is pretty ballsy, but I'll explain that one, why I have that one this week. Now, my first pick this week is wide receiver Josh Gordon, and he is a 2-balls pick. That's right, Josh Gordon is finally back. If you were able to pick him up a few weeks ago and stash him, he is going to be playing this week. They're playing Atlanta, and Kelvin Benjamin had his second 100-yard game against Atlanta last week and a touchdown. He was my pick last week. And hey, I'm picking on Atlanta's pass defense again because they're not getting any better. Apparently, Gordon has been working out a lot, even though he hasn't been playing, and he's in excellent shape. And ATL is still dead last against the pass, so that's, again, why I'm picking on them. They're giving up the 10th most fantasy points to wide receivers. Another thing I like about this game is it's being played in Atlanta, so it's being played indoors because I don't know if any of you have been seeing the weather. I live in gorgeous Los Angeles, but the Midwest, the East Coast, has been getting hit with horrible weather. So you're going to want to get some players that are in indoor games. And the Browns need this spark on offense. They're only 14th in total offense, and they only scored 7 points against the Texans last week. So their offense is struggling quite a bit. Josh Gordon could be that guy. You all watched him play last year. He could be the one to really spark this offense and get them to score more points. So I wouldn't say wait this week and see how he does. I would say get him in your lineup this week. My second pick is quarterback Andrew Luck, and he is a 1-ball pick, of course, because he's having a fantastic year, fantasy-wise and in real life for the Colts. He has thrown for 3,388 yards so far, 28 touchdowns, only 10 interceptions, and he's added another 144 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns on the season. He is just balling out. He has a fantastic matchup this week against Jacksonville at home. He completely torched Jacksonville in Jacksonville when they played earlier this year. He threw for 370 yards, 4 touchdowns, and no interceptions in that game. Again, they're playing at home this time, so I can't imagine him being better, but I think he might even be better than when they played in Jacksonville. And you have to remember, Bradshaw is now out. He's on IR. Trent Richardson is going to carry the load. We've seen what he's been doing. He doesn't do a whole lot. So the Colts are a passing team, no doubt. But I think with Trent Richardson in the backfield, they're going to have to really rely on the pass. And Andrew Luck's going to have to put this team on his shoulders. This will be a good game for him against Jacksonville if the backfield isn't working as good. Let's move it on. Now, this is my ballsy pick for the week. My third pick is a ballsy one. It's running back Steven Jackson. It's a 3.5 on the ball scale. And I know you're probably sitting out there like, she's crazy. Why would you tell me to play him? He's a guy that you can put in your flex position this week, and this is why. Antoine Smith just went on IR, so it's up to Steven Jackson and Jacquizz Rodgers over there in ATL. I think they're going to give Steven Jackson more of the load. Week 9, actually, I picked him up and I played him because one of my running backs was on a bye, and he did have a good week. Against Tampa Bay, he had 81 yards and a touchdown. So, hey, he got in the end zone. I'll take that. He's really having his best weeks against bad run defenses. Well, he's lucky because he gets the Browns, and they are a bad run defense. That's why I'm saying to play him, and he'd be a good flex position. The Browns are 30th versus the run. They're giving up 142 rushing yards per game, so this is why I like him this week. Again, I mentioned earlier, ATL is playing at home, so it's an indoor game against a really bad run defense. And Alfred Blue, who played in place of Arian Foster last week, played against the Browns, and he had 156 rushing yards against them. They've given up 100-yard games to 3 running backs so far this year. So even if Steven Jackson is splitting the backfield a little bit with Rodgers, I think he still could get you stats close to that Tampa Bay game, around 80 yards, maybe go for over 100 and get in the end zone again this week. So he might be a good guy. He's out there, I think, on pretty much every waiver wire. So if you're stuck at running back, if you don't have good matchups for your flex position, you can go out there and get him. So those are my 3 real men for this week. Greg, of course, has his beast mode picks for you as well.